bang, bang, and bang. What a banger of a UFC card we just had. UFC 317 was very entertaining, had some very fun fights, and it had a top contender for fight of the year for sure. We are also witnessing the best winning streak of all time as well. Ilia was able to knock out his third opponent in a row, all of them being legendary names. But guys, let's go over all the fight results and what picks Shrimp and I got correct or incorrect. So without wasting any more time, let's start with the first fight of the night between Denise and Alvin Hines. Dude, this was a pretty fun fight, to be honest. It did go the distance, but both these fighters had their moments. Hines is a dog, man. This guy stepped in on an 18-day short notice against Denise, a pretty good kickboxer, and stood and banged with him for 3 rounds. The first round, Hines started out great, but it only lasted for like a minute. After Denise figured out Hines' timing and started piecing him up with some stiff jabs and some nice rights, he also hurt Hines very freaking fast, cutting him up. And he also did pretty good on defending his takedown attempts from Alvin Hines. The second round went pretty similar, where pretty much Denise was landing the better strikes, but Hines is a dog, man. Very freaking tough. He wouldn't stop moving forward, even if he was getting pissed up. It was 2018 going into the second round with Denise being up. Denise looked super gassed in the end of the second and going into the third, and he definitely showed it. He did get eye poked in that third round, but low key, it was just him trying to take a short break, even though Hines was able to take a short break as well. But way better third round for Hines, but I just wasn't enough. But Denise did great, stuffing 7 of the 8 takedown attempts from Alvin Hines. Good win for Jonathan Denise. Hopefully, Alvin Hines gets another fight, and hopefully, he gets a whole training camp so he can prepare better. But this started off pretty good for our picks. Both Shrimp and I got this pick correct. Sweet guys, moving on to the next fight. We got Niko Price and Jacobe Smith. Jacobe Smith got a nice submission win here via rear naked choke. Dude, these guys went to war in that first round. It was a great fight. Like I said, the first round was crazy. Jacobe beat Price with a lot of ground and pound, and they stayed on the ground with Jacobe having most of the control time. And once they got up, they looked hella tired, but both just started slunging it out, and both were freaking landing, man. Both were definitely hurt as well. Jacobe did great by not letting Price get up, by scrambling into better positions, and he eventually found that near rear naked choke that got Jacobe Smith the win. This was definitely good experience for Smith because Niko Price was a weird striker and he was landing some shots as well. And I just feel like Jacobe Smith needs to be a little bit more patient with trying to look for the finish because he gassed himself out pretty freaking fast. And if this would have been a slightly better opponent, I feel like he would have had an even tougher time beating him. But good win for Jacobe Smith. Both Shrimp and I got this pick correct as well. I think we both thought there was going to be a KO win, but Jacobe Smith got a nice submission win showing his ground game. And also, guys, Joe Rogan! All right, moving on to the next fight, guys. Terrence McKinney versus Vyacheslav Workchev. This is also another crazy freaking fight, man. Super fast finish. I'm pretty sure that was the fastest submission win in the lightweight division, I believe. Terrence McKinney did a great job getting that takedown and scrambling straight to that choke. And he went from choke to choke until he eventually found the guillotine. And props to Workachev, man. This guy was just pedaling not to tap, but eventually Terrence McKinney had it way too tight and he had no choice than to tap. But Terrence McKinney, still one of the most entertaining fighters in the roster. Amazing fight. Again, Shrimp and I got this pick correct as well. We won on a freaking nice run. But so you guys, moving on to the next fight. We got Vivian Arjo versus Tracy Cortez. Tracy Cortez got a nice decision win here. It was a pretty fun fight. There were some fun reversals here and there. Tracy Cortez was looking pretty decent on the feet with her strikes looking pretty well. And this put Cortez back on the winning column, which is great for her. But like I said, guys, it was a decently fun fight. It wasn't the best fight ever, but for a women's fight, no hate. Shout out to the homie Tyler. Pretty fun fight overall. Like I said, watching those reversals was pretty fun. Some of that ground and pound as well. And Tracy Cortez tried getting in some submissions in there, but wasn't able to do it in the end. But nice domination win for Tracy Cortez. This put us at 4-0 for the night. So you guys, moving on to the next fight. Hyder Emil versus Jose Miguel Delgado. Dude, that was a crazy, beautiful KO, man. This is a great win for Jose Miguel Delgado. He landed that nasty knee. And I know Emil was protesting that he should have kept fighting, but nah, he was out, man. He was completely out. Jose Miguel Delgado continues his KO slash TKO winning streak. And I'm super excited for this guy, man. Hopefully he goes far because he's very exciting to watch and he's a great freaking boxer, man. But as for Hyder Emil, this is his first loss in his pro career, so this shouldn't be too much of a setback. This guy's still tough as nails, and I hope to see this guy come back as well because he's really fun to watch fight as well because most of his fights are wars. Yeah, moving on, guys, to the featured fight of the prelims. We had Jack Hermanson versus Gregory Rodriguez. Um, this is the pick that both Shrimp and I disagreed in, and I got this pick correct. Shrimp thought Jack Hermanson was going to be able to get another crafty vet win like he did against Joe Pfeiffer. I knew that wasn't going to be the case. Gregory Rodriguez nasty KO win over Jack Hermanson. Dude, that was straight up murder, man. He sent him straight to the canvas, straight to sleep, and that was brutal to watch. But Gregory Rodriguez looked amazing in this fight, and he was way more patient than he was against Jared Cannonier, and he was able to save some of that gas tank, and he didn't himself out as fast as he did against Cannonier, which was a great sight to see that he can adjust to whatever he needs to. But Jack Hermanson is still a great fighter. I don't know what's going to be next for him. He's probably going to think of retiring here pretty soon, but probably another fight against another older gentleman. But we'll see what happens. So, you guys, moving on to the main card. Payton Talbot versus Felipe Lima, guys. This is a great scrap. Both had their moments, especially in that first round because it was a super fast pace with Talbot being able to get out of some ugly situations on the ground. He showed great improvement from his last fight, man. I freaking called it. Talbot was getting kind of pissed up by Lima, but for some reason he kept shooting for takedown, man. I guess he was just worried about Talbot's power, but amazing performance from Talbot. He showed his takedown defense and improved it just like I predicted. And again, just like Gregory Rodriguez, guys, Payton Talbot showed that he can adjust his game and he shows that he can improve and work on the things that he needs to work on. But super good win for Talbot. And like I said, this was a pretty fun fight to watch as well. Pretty much all of the fights in this card were fun to watch, very entertaining. Even though we did have a few decisions, even the decision wins were pretty fun as well. But yeah, guys, Shrimp got this picking correct. He thought Felipe Lima's speed advantage was gonna be able to be enough to beat Talbot, but it wasn't the case. And I got this pick correct. This put me at 7-0, guys, and it put Shrimp at 5-2. But sweet guys, moving on to the next fight, Beneil Dariush versus Renato Moicano. It was an amazing first round for both guys where they were going at it, both having some really fun and nice exchanges. But in the end, Moicano was able to knock him down with the straight right and steal the round. Props to Dariush for surviving, and also his kicks in that first round were very freaking damaging as well. The second round was definitely way better for Dariush. He was able to take down Moicano and kind of just hold him there for most of the second round. Moicano was just kind of letting it happen. It was 19 going into the third, but just Moicano was falling really hard as the fight went on. He was getting very tired, very fatigued. Dariush was able to outlast him, being the smarter and busier fighter in the third round as well. Some of the decisions that Renato Moicano was taking in that third round were very questionable, but it is what it is, guys. I honestly thought Renato Moicano was going to be able to knock out Beneil Dariush, and I was super excited to see him get knocked down at the end of that first round, but it wasn't enough for Renato Moicano to win, and Beneil Dariush got a nice win. And like I said, we both got this picking correct. This put me at 7-1, and it put Shrimp 5-3 for the night. So, you guys, moving on to the fight of the year, guys. Brandon Royval versus Joshua Van. Dude, this was an absolute war, and I'm done doubting Joshua Van. I knew I shouldn't have picked against him, man. But I fell for the Royval experience, but he's still a dog. He still looked amazing out there. Just that Joshua Van is him, man. What an amazing fight between these guys. And like I said, for sure the best fight of the year so far. No doubt about it. Both of these guys were landing some nasty combos, some very heavy strikes, and it was super entertaining to watch, man. These guys just kept going at it and at it. They had an insane output. Pretty sure they broke the record for the most significant strikes in the fight. And Joshua Van also is on a crazy, like, 100 significant strike fight streak right now, which is crazy. But Joshua Van is him, man, and he proved me wrong. And let me tell you about this kid. We freaking love him. And props to Royval. He took this very risky fight. He delivered. He didn't back down whatsoever. I would like to see him moving up though to the bantamweight division. I feel like his weight cuts haven't been the worst, but since he's a little bit bigger than all the flyweight competition, I feel like having not to lose those extra 10 pounds, I feel like that would do good for him. And as for Joshua Van, he's obviously getting the next title shot, which is freaking crazy, guys. Because just a few months ago, he wasn't even ranked. No one knew about him. Only Shrimp did. Shrimp called it from the very beginning of the year by saying, "Let me tell you about this kid." But amazing fight, absolute banger. Joshua Van again proved us wrong. This put me at 7-2 for the night, and it put Shrimp at 5-4. So, you guys, moving on to the co-main event of the evening, guys. I don't really got much to break down in this fight because we all saw what we saw. This was a classic Pantoja performance where he dominated on the ground. He found the submission win via rear naked choke, and Kai France had nothing for Alexandre Pantoja, man. Like I said, the first round was pure ground domination from Pantoja. The second round was a little different with Kai defending the ground game pretty well, and most of the second round was on the feet, but it's still Pantoja was just looked way better overall. And the third round, again, was able to find that submission and put Kai France away. But give some respect to Pantoja, man. This guy needs to go higher on the pound for pound list, and he's definitely him. And he's moving towards being the GOAT of the flyweight division, being in arguments with Mighty Mouse. So we'll see what happens, guys. Both Shrimp and I got this pick correct. This put me at 8-2, and Shrimp 6-4. Shrimp also called the submission. I said submission win as well, but I had said second round, and Shrimp said third. But yeah, guys, that's all I got. Moving on to the main event of the evening. Dude, Topuria has the best 3-fight win streak ever. I'm just gonna say that right now. Volk, Max Holloway, and now Oliveira. Man, that was sad to see the KO, dude. But Ilia is him. There's no more doubting him. And I can see why Islam Makhachev moved up the division because Ilia Topuria is definitely a problem. Pretty much everyone knew how this fight was going to go. It started out decent for Charles Oliveira until he got cut really freaking fast right above his right eye, I believe. Charles Oliveira was able to get Topuria to the ground, almost putting him in a nasty leg lock, but Ilia Topuria was able to get out of that situation. Charles Oliveira was just kind of laying there, and then the ref stood them up, and the rest is history. Topuria was able to land a series of nice strikes and put Charles Oliveira sleeping on the canvas. He was knocked out cold, man. And I know Shrimp right now is in shambles. He's knocked out probably some of his favorite fighters ever, and some of my favorite fighters, even though I haven't been watching UFC for that long. But Shrimp's prediction, he said Charles Oliveira was winning by the power of friendship, but it obviously didn't happen, guys. So this put him at 6-5 for the night, and this put me at 9-2. I did pretty freaking good. I did way better than last week's card. Sweet, guys. This concludes our post-fight breakdown. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. We will see you guys in the next breakdown video. Adios.